We'll get moving. We'll feel, yeah, it's like, last night was great, like light until late, but then this morning was rough, right? So over the weekend, I had to give a teaching over the weekend for something else I was doing, which was on a piece of scripture that was all about rituals, all these different ritual practices. And, as I was reading it, I was having a really hard time kind of connecting to it because it just seemed very distant from the way that I connect on a spiritual level. But what I took away from the whole thing, what I realized, what it sort of reminded me of was that the idea that ritual is important. So ritual can take the form of many different things. Ritual can be sort of a strict religious ceremonial practice. It could be just a habit, a customary observance or practice, that you've come to over the years of, an accepted or habitual practice. Or the last definition is an automatic pattern of behavior in reaction to a specific situation, which may be inherited or acquired through frequent repetition. So it can be something really clear and specific, like a right way and a wrong way to do it, or all the way to just sort of a habit that has evolved over time. And whatever it is, though, whatever the ritual might be for you, what makes it a ritual is that it creates sacredness of time, right? It carves out a holy or sacred moment. It makes a moment something special. So while I don't really find that rigid dogma always serves our highest, I do find that repetition with intention is highly effective. Repetition with intention creates ritual for us, and it creates that sacredness that we're looking for. Even just on the sort of physiological, psychological level, we know that doing things over and over again carves neurological pathways in our mind, so that the more that we're doing them, the deeper that groove becomes, the easier it is to find our way down that path. And so that can happen on the level of a path that maybe you don't want to be going down. But of course, this idea of creating a ritual of repetition with intention is that we're carving a pathway that we do want to be going down. It's pointing us in a direction that we do want to be going in our lives. So, the calendar can dictate that in some ways, our religious calendar or cultural calendar, birthdays and celebrations, and even just, like the weekend, right? That can sort of give us that rhythm. But, as a yogi, I also embrace the idea that we don't need to have a special day to make the moment sacred. We don't need it to be a holiday or a holy day for it to be a holy moment, that we can create those moments for ourselves if we are infusing the moment with intention. And that's really what our yoga practice is. When we come to do asana on the mat, we're doing these repeated actions over and over and over again. And, what makes it yoga and not just exercise class or stretching is that we're coming to it with a particular intention. We're coming to it with this intention to sort of elevate ourselves, because ritual can connect us to, there's all sorts of reasons. It can connect us to ourselves. It can connect us to community. And, ultimately the highest level is that it connects us into something bigger. It connects us into the source. It connects us into the universal, that part of ourselves that is universally within all. So in practice this morning, we're going to look at sort of one of the rituals of yoga practice, of asana practice, which is Surya Namaskar, which is sun salutation. And it's a way of progressing through poses. It's a set sequence of poses that can help us to create that repetition with intention. And we're going to sort of break it down. We'll take it pose by pose, and then we'll bring it together in the end. So let's take a moment and just sit, as is our tradition, our ritual. So sit up nice and tall, take the flesh from your sit bones. Close your eyes. The breath is going to be the way that we connect back to our intention. It's the hook that brings us back. So just take a few deeper breaths, letting yourself just sort of empty out of extraneous thoughts or feelings or ideas, anything that's muddying the water. Let yourself become a little more present with yourself. Just invite your awareness more fully into yourself, into the moment. Begin some ujjayi breath. So gently tone the back of the throat so that the breath becomes a little more audible. And sometimes we call it the ocean breath or the Darth Vader breath. It's as if you're doing a sound, but with the lips closed. And as you attune, you're feeling the breath and you're hearing the breath. Just let it attune you more deeply into the moment, into the present, into yourself. The way that we do yoga is to infuse intention into the practice, into what we're doing. So as you sit and breathe, just start to listen and see what intention is welling up inside of you this morning. Maybe something simple, just like quieting the mind. Maybe it's that you're feeling sluggish and you want a little more energy. Maybe it's something higher than that. Maybe it's seeking joy or seeking gratitude or cultivating those things. It can be anything, really. Anything that will give your practice purpose and meaning. So as that becomes clear, join your hands together at your heart, gathering your attention to your heart. When we take that moment to set our intention, to be clear in what it is that we're seeking, we elevate our practice. We make it a sacred and holy act. So let's begin together by chanting 3 Oms, as is our tradition, joining our voices together with each other and with the highest. If you'd like to join in, take a deep breath. Bow your head to your heart. And as you're ready, release your hands, let your eyes open. Hi, Kim, welcome. Let's start standing up. We'll do some warm-ups and then we'll get into the sun salute, the sun salute postures. But let's do a little warm-up. We'll do standing up today. So stand with your feet a little wider than hip distance. You can turn your toes out a little bit if that's more comfortable for knees or hips. And then bend your knees, rest your hands onto your thighs, and just start a little cat and cow, arching and rounding. Moving with the breath. Come back to that ujjayi sound so that you're hearing your breath and it's helping you to stay connected. You're making each breath a ritual of placing your awareness in the present moment. Each breath is the invitation to do that. And then we move that breath through the body and it becomes this sacred act of yoga. We're going to build on what we're doing So next time you're in the rounded position, just roll yourself up to standing, let your arms lift, and maybe take a little baby back bend. Take cactus arms, curl your head and your shoulders back. And then as you exhale, send the hands back down to the thighs, arch the back, and then round and roll yourself up, roll the arms up, maybe a little baby back bend, take a breath in, and then exhale, hands to the thighs, back arch, and round yourself back up. So it could just be this sort of fluid, flowing movement, nothing like, again, nothing rigid about it, just making it your own cat and cow flow with breath, getting the shoulders into it a little bit, warming up the spine. Yeah, you guys look great. Just moving with that ujjayi sound, with the ujjayi breath. Maybe close your eyes if it's helping you to keep the awareness turned more inwardly. Do one more full round of breath. Good, and then widen out the feet a little bit more. Bend your knees a lot. You might want your blocks for this. You're gonna take your hands down to the floor or to blocks. So if the floor feels like it's a little bit far, you can take your hands onto blocks. So take a breath in, arch your back, knees bent. And then as you exhale, press your legs a little straighter and fold over. Inhale, send your hips back, inner thighs wide, knees wide apart. Exhale, roll round forward into your forward bend. And then just back and forth a couple more times, bending and straightening, maybe bending a little bit deeper, just getting a little bit more movement into the knees and the hips. Your pace, your rhythm. Good, next time the legs are straight, hold it there. Then walk to your left foot, bend your left knee, put your right hand in front of your left foot, and then open your right arm up to the sky. And if that's uncomfortable, you could just put your right hand on your hip if that bothers a shoulder, if you've got a shoulder thing going on. So left knee bent, left arm up, right hand on the floor. Good, and then on an exhale, just sweep to the other side, bend the right knee, left hand on the floor, right arm to the sky. Yep, and then just go back and forth a couple times with your own breath. You can hold for a couple of breaths on each side, or again, if you're feeling a little sluggish and you want to move a little more, then you can take it that one breath ratio, just one breath side to side. Yeah. Finish up with your second side. And then come on back up to center. Good. Yeah, bend your knees. So still wide with your feet. We'll just do some shoulder dips. So press the knees wide apart, and you're going to keep the knees wide. You're going to press your right knee wide and drop your left shoulder to the right knee. Your right shoulder to the left knee. So right knee wide, right shoulder, left knee. And inhale, center, and over to the other side. Yep. And again, holding for a breath or two, or back and forth with the breath. Come back to the ujjayi sound. Come back to the rhythm. Come back to your intention. That's what makes it yoga. Good. Finish with second side. Good. Back to center. And step your feet in closer. Go about hip distance apart. Take your hands in front, lace your fingers together. Press your palms away from you. Then pull from your hands into your shoulder blades. Pull the shoulder blades onto the back. Inhale, stretch the arms to the sky. Exhale, lean a little left. Good. Keep your right shoulder over your left. Look up to the right slightly if that's comfortable for your neck. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lean to the right. Look up under the left armpit. Reach the arms as straight as you can. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, release your hands and switch the cross. So bring the other pinky finger on the bottom, other thumb on top. Press the palms, pull the shoulders back, stretch the arms. Good, we're gonna lean to the left again. So lean to the left side, round through the right leg, but then round forward slightly. So look towards your belly,
Sweep your waistline back. So you're feeling the stretch more into the lower right back waistline. So you're looking down slightly as you reach to the left. Good, inhale, come up. Exhale, second side, lean right, and then turn slightly towards the floor. Look towards your belly, draw the waistline back, the navel back, the tailbone in, so you're feeling a big stretch and opening along the back, left side body. Inhale, come up. Exhale, release your arms, sweep your hands behind the back, lace your fingers together. Of course, if that feels like it's too much for the shoulders, you can hold a strap behind you. Inhale and lift your chest. Take your gaze slightly upwards, and then as you exhale, with a long spine, fold over, arms to the sky, head towards the floor. You can keep your knees a little soft if the back of the legs are not feeling quite open enough to go in with straight legs yet. Just give the hamstrings a little bit of a break. One more breath, lift the shoulder blades to the spine, stretch your arms, exhale, fold in, and then inhale and come on all the way up. Good, release your hands and roll out your shoulders. Okay, so we're gonna get into Surya Namaskar, Sun Salute A. We're gonna focus on Surya Namaskar A today, which is the sort of basic framework of Surya Namaskar. You know, and in Anusara, we don't have set sequences like other schools do, but we do follow the Surya Namaskar. And this is a great way to warm up the entire body. It touches on, there's a back bend, there's a forward bend, there's not really a twist, but okay. And then we build on that framework. But each pose in the sequence is a pose in and of itself. So we're gonna just sort of break it down and look at each pose, and then we'll put it all together. So we're starting in Tadasana. Stand with your feet parallel to one another. Stand steady and strong, evenly, the weight balance, toes to heels. So, you know, there's sort of this ritual of how we come into the poses. So we take that moment, we set the foundation, we set our feet on the floor, and we set our intention. We remember our intention. We just open up to this being a practice of a ritual practice. Then we engage with it, we firm the muscles. So draw the skin to muscle to bone. And feel yourself engaging inwards, from the outside inwards. Feel steady and strong, you pose nice and tall. And then expand, connect back into that inner intention, that feeling inside of you, and let it expand so that the pose becomes a reflection, an embodiment of that intention. And this is sort of the rhythm of each pose, the ritual of each pose as we come into it. Join your hands and find your Ujjayi breath if you're not there already. Tadasana. On your next inhale, sweep your arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Stretch down through your legs, stretch up through your spine, your arms, and your fingers. Okay, so now we fold into Uttanasana, but you go with a long spine. So arms to the sides, reach your spine long. Don't let your spine round as you're folding forward until you get to the very bottom of the pose, and then it rounds. So we come in and out with a long spine. That's important. That keeps the vertebrae, the discs between the vertebrae really safe. Inhale, come halfway. Take your hands, your fingertips onto your shins. Yep, and then take all the roundedness out of your back. So your back is flat and your spine is long. Good, exhale and fold over, hands to floor or to blocks. Okay, let's just be here in Uttanasana for a moment. So again, feel the feet pressing evenly down. Some of us tend to rock back into our heels in this pose. Some people tend to come forward into their hands. So just try to be right here in the center, balanced, the toes to the heels. And then the bones stacked, shin bones, thigh bones, all the way up to the pelvis. And the spine then just sort of spills out over. The spine is relaxed, the neck is long, but we keep the shoulder blades lifting onto the back. We maintain that little bit of integrity there. Okay, from here we go to downward facing dog, but we're going to set it up in tabletop. So bend your knees. Now, even here, stepping forward and back can be a little bit of a challenge. So if it's hard for you to step back, you can step your feet wide apart to get your hands to the floor and then step yourself back. So that's one way to do that. That makes it a little bit easier if you go wide with your feet. All right, come down to tabletop just for a moment. Let's really set up our dog pose well. So make the wrist creases parallel and spread your fingers. Draw up your arms so that the arms feel steady and strong, and draw the shoulder blades firm onto the back. So there should be a little valley between the shoulder blades, a space, a little groove between the shoulder blades as you pull the shoulder blades in towards each other. Then do a little cow tilt. So tip the sit bones up, tip the chest forward. That helps keep the shoulder blades on the back. And then tuck your toes and lift your knees up and back, downward dog pose. Start with your knees bent. Now let's talk about the distance here from hands to feet for a moment. So how do you know what's the right distance? If you come to the top of the plank, just for a moment, heels over toes, shoulders over wrists, that should give you your downward facing dog lane. So without moving your hands or your feet, go back to dog. Maybe that's exactly where you were. Maybe it's a little bit longer. Our dog pose in Anusara tends to be a little longer than in other poses. We're not as focused on getting the heels down to the floor as we are on getting the stretch for the spine. So now, firming your arms, pull the lower arms and legs in towards each other. Spin your sit bones and your inner thighs up and back. Widen your inner thighs a lot. Lift your hips high to the air. Then start to stretch your heels down, stretch your legs a little bit straighter. And again, connecting to that intention that you set for yourself, and spread it through the whole pose. Expand it from the inside out. The pose becomes brighter and fuller and richer. Let's come down and rest for a moment. So just come down to tabletop and either sit back onto your heels or take child's pose for a moment. That's not in the sun salutation sequence, but we were in the dog pose for a while. So I just want to give you a moment to breathe, to catch your breath, to give the wrists a break. A moment to come back to your intention, your ujjayi breath. Again, allowing each and every breath to create sacredness, holiness in your practice, elevating your practice. Okay, let's come back up to downward facing dog. And the next pose in the sequence is plank pose. So from dog pose, come to plank, which is the top of a push-up. Now, if this feels like a lot, if it's hard to hold your hips in line with your shoulders, you're just going to come to a longer table. So your plank can look like this. Your plank can have knees down on the floor. Okay, either way, knees up or down, make the legs strong. Pull the belly in, sweep the tailbone down. There's a lot of core strength that goes into your plank pose. And then draw the shoulder blades firm onto the back. Gaze is slightly forward. Take one more breath. Good. Exhale. Drop your knees and just rest for a moment. Okay, so from plank, and again, as we're moving through Surya Namaskar, we're not holding these poses, but I want you to really think about how to line them up so that when we're moving faster, you're still moving with alignment. All right, so next, just watch me for a moment. The next pose in the sequence is Chaturanga, which is a low push-up. It's a hard pose. The full pose looks like this. You're in a low push-up position. Now that's hard to hold, and it's hard to do with good shoulder alignment. So until you really feel like your shoulders and your wrists are strong enough, you'll do it with your knees down on the floor. So let's try it together. And if it's appropriate for you to do with knees up, I know some of you practice it that way, that's fine. But let's work on the knees down variation. So in a longer tabletop, so knees behind the hips, pull the lower arms in towards each other, pull the shoulder blades to the back. Then lean forward, lean the torso forward, bend the elbows at a right angle, and then push off the toes, bring your pelvis down to the floor, and find your baby cobra pose. Good, so the hands are by the sides, the elbows are in close, legs are straight and strong, and then shoulder blades lifting onto the back, and you could be at any height in your cobra. Okay, good, rest your belly for a moment, just stack your hands, rest your head down. So, the back bend that's in the sequence of Surya Namaskar is actually upward facing dog, which is not as deep of a back bend, but requires a lot more upper body strength. So I just want to offer it as an option. Let's look at it here from the floor. And if you want to watch me first, you can. So in cobra pose, the hands are out in front, the pelvis is on the floor, and you're in a back bend. In upward facing dog, the hands are farther back, so back by the ribs. And the only thing touching the floor are the hands and the feet. So the pelvis lifts, the legs lift. I know it's hard to see on the video, but my knees are off the floor, my shins are off the floor, and I'm hovering above the floor. So it's not as deep of a back bend, but it does require a lot of shoulder integration and wrist strength. So if it's not an appropriate pose for you, of course, then you'll just stick with your baby cobra. But let's give it a go just to try it. So on your belly, slide your hands back, as far back as you can. Yeah, very good. Now work your legs a lot. So the legs are really important in this pose. Firm your legs, pull the legs in towards each other, make the legs really strong, and then push into your hands and see if you can lift, straighten out your arms and lift everything up off the floor. Yeah, very nice, you guys. Good. And if that's, again, if that's not good for a shoulder or wrist, you just stay in that low cobra. Good. Exhale and release. Very nice. And just take a moment to rest your head down. And just think about it. I mean, maybe the body just dictated for you which of those back bends is going to work better for you. But it might be that both of them are available, but one of them sort of sits better with your intention for today. And so just make a decision, which as we're moving through, we'll do this. So Surya Namaskar, again, just see which one sits better with your intention and in your body and in your heart as a back bend for that sequence. Okay, back to downward facing dog. Good, stretch yourself full into your dog pose. And then from here, we walk back to Uttanasana. Again, each pose, a moment to infuse sacredness, infuse the intention into what you're doing. Each moment, each pose, a pose itself. So just be in your Uttanasana for a breath, a forward bend, fully there, fully present. Ujjayi breath going. And then to come up, again, lengthen your spine first. So you can even take your hands up onto your shins to create that length. Good, and then push into your feet and come on all the way up. Yeah, that looks really good. That's great. Stretch up tall and exhale. Samastiti. All right, so we're gonna go through it now a couple more times. We'll go through faster than what we just did. Of course, you'll keep it at the pace that feels reasonable for you to keep it at. But again, I want you to really think about this idea of repetition with intention. What is your intention? How are you doing? Not so much like what the poses are that we're doing, but how we're doing the poses, what we're bringing to what we're doing this morning. Okay, Samastiti, join your hands to your heart, stand tall. Come back to intention pose, Tadasana. Come back to your heart and back to your Ujjayi breath. On your next inhale, circle your arms around and up, reach up tall. And as you exhale, with a long spine, fold forward. Inhale, come up halfway, lifting and lengthening your spine, pressing your thigh bones back. Good, exhale and bowing. Now, if you need to widen your feet before you step back, widen your feet. Everybody bend your knees, plant your hands, step back, downward facing dog. Now, again, in your practice, you can always come through tabletop first if that's more appropriate for you. Good, stretch back into your dog pose, adjust your feet and your hands so that you're at the proper length, and then just be here in the pose with your Ujjayi breath, with your intention, pouring the intention into the moment, pouring the awareness into the moment. Then inhale and come out to plank, knees up or down, up to you. For everybody, shoulder blades on the back, neck in line with the spine. Good, exhale and lower down, knees up or down, up to you. Inhale for your back bend, pelvis on the floor for cobra, thighs up for up dog. Whichever pose you're in, stretch full into it, back through the legs, up through the heart. Yeah, you guys look great. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths in your dog pose. 3 moments, 3 opportunities to create a sacred moment for yourself this morning. Good, and then from here, we're gonna walk forward to Uttanasana. Again, if it's easier with the feet wide, you can walk your feet wide to step forward and then just bring them together as you come to the top of the mat. Stretch your legs straight and bow in deeply, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen your spine first, lift your heart, and then press to your feet and rise all the way up. Reach up and stretch tall. And exhale, hands to the heart center. Come back to the Ujjayi breath. Good, well done, you guys, beautiful. We're gonna do one more round. We'll go just a little bit faster and then we'll move on. We'll do a few other things. So connect to the breath, Ujjayi breath. On your inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale from your hips, extend your spine. Inhale and lift up halfway. Exhale, bend your knees again, step wide if you need to. Plant your hands, downward facing dog. Take a breath in dog pose. Just stretch yourself full into the pose. Then inhale to plank or to modified plank. Exhale through chaturanga or modified chaturanga. Inhale, back bend cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths in your dog pose. 3 moments to place the breath in the awareness, to place the awareness in the breath, to place the intention in the breath. And then a walk forward back to Uttanasana. Again, you can go wide with the feet. That makes it a little easier to walk forward if you need to. And then heel toe in, come back to parallel and fold into your deepest Uttanasana as we're warming up here. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Press to your feet, rise with your breath. And exhale, hands into the heart. Good. So Surya Namaskar is it's a sort of yoga ritual, right? It's that sequence of poses. It's a full body warm up. So if you're ever just thinking like you're home and you want to do a little yoga, a Surya Namaskar sun salute is a really great way to just kind of touch into lots of different yoga movements. All right, let's do some standing poses. So stand with your feet wide. Yeah, so nothing crazy, nothing complicated today. I'm keeping it super simple so that we're just coming back, because when we're doing that, it's not that then we can do it by rote and we can check out. It's just that then when we're doing these most familiar poses that we're used to doing all the time, we can focus a little bit more on the intention rather than just the pose itself. Okay, warrior 2, turn out your right foot. Bisect, make sure the right heel is bisecting the instep of your left foot so your feet are lined up. That's it, bend into the right knee. Inhale the arms up. Yeah, go through the sequence of building the pose. So set your feet mindfully, pressing evenly through the feet, set your intention. Remember your intention. And then firm, skin to muscle to bone. It's like we engage with the intention physically. We feel it in our bodies as the muscles tone, as they hug to the bones. And then we expand from the inside. We connect to that intention and it stretches. It moves deeper into the pose. The legs stretch longer, the arms, the fingers stretch longer, the neck. Drop your back hand to your back leg, left hand to left leg, right palm up, and lean back. Reverse warrior. Lean towards your back leg, but also towards the back body. So your head, your shoulders are leaning back a little bit. Stay with the Ujjayi breath, with the intention of every breath infusing meaning into your poses, into what you're doing this morning. Press your right leg straight, firm the muscles of the leg. Inhale, bring yourself up. And exhale, reach out over the right leg, Trikonasana. Good. Thinking more about how you're moving, the spirit that you're bringing to the poses this morning rather than the outer form of the pose itself. Lean back a little bit, maybe with the upper body, full stretch in the pose. And then take the left arm over the ear, taking a side body stretch if that's comfortable. If you have a shoulder thing going on, you need to keep your arm up, okay? But if it's comfortable, draw the arm down by the ear and reach through that left arm, extending through the whole left side body. Good, push to your feet and come on up. And second side. Be mindful about that right foot. So when we come to the second side, that right foot likes to turn out. So make sure that the right foot is parallel. Turn the left foot out so the left toes are pointing straight ahead. Warrior two. Bend the knee over the ankle. Track the knee, make sure it's pointing at the second toe. Lift your arms. Go through your ritual. Go through your ritual of building the pose with mindfulness, with breath, with full awareness on what you're doing, right where you are right now. That's yoga. When we practice with the mind fully immersed in what we're doing, in the breath, that's yoga. Drop your back hand to your back leg, turn up your left palm, reverse. Keep bending the left knee and pressing it wide, but lean back, lean to the back leg, lean to the back body. Keep the breath moving, Ujjayi breath. Press the left leg straight, firm the muscles of the leg. Inhale, come up, and reach out to your triangle pose. And down to whatever is available, whatever you can reach. From your pelvis, stretch down through your legs. From your pelvis, extend through your spine. Take your right arm over your ear. Take side body stretch. Again, if that's appropriate for the shoulder, looks like we're all there. That's good. Press to the outer edge of your right foot and extend all the way to your right fingertips. Last breath. Good. Inhale and come on up. Turn your feet to parallel for Prasarita Padottanasana. So feet parallel to the short sides of the mat, hands on the hips. Take a big breath in, roll your shoulders back. And then from your hips with a long spine, fold forward, right from the hips. Reach your heart forward. Good. Hands can come down to floor or, of course, to blocks. If it's hard to reach the floor, you can always go wider with your feet if the inner thighs will allow for that. And same thing as we did in Uttanasana, balance the weight toes to heels. Like for me, I tend to sort of dump back into my heels in this pose, so don't let that happen. Balance toes to heels, press your hands into whatever they're touching, floor or blocks, and keep the shoulder blades lifted to the spine. Walk both hands over to the right leg now. And you're gonna hold the outside of your right leg with both hands. So you can hold anywhere on that leg. Yep, you got it. Yeah, both legs are straight. Now, you're gonna push your left hip to the left. So don't let that left hip drop down. You're gonna try to keep your pelvis level, but pull with your arms a little bit so that your torso is leaning towards your right leg. So you're getting a big side body stretch for the left side body. Then keep holding your right leg with your left hand, but lean back until that arm is straight, spine is long. And then stretch your right arm to the sky, your top arm. So your weight is in your left hand holding your right leg. Yeah, you've got it. You've got it. Twisting and looking up. Good. Exhale and release to center. Just fold to center for a moment. And then over to the other side. So both hands walk to the left leg. Hold the outer left leg. Draw the torso over to the left, but press your right hip to the right. So the pelvis stays level and you're getting the stretch above the hips into the torso and the trunk. Then keep holding with your right hand and lean back until the arm is straight and the spine is straight. And then twist, look up over the left shoulder. Stretch the left arm to the sky, leaning back. Take one more breath. And then exhale and release, fold to center. Walk your hands forward, lengthening your spine.
You can put a little bend to the knees if you need to, and then walk yourself up, or just come to stand up with a nice long spine. Good. Step your feet together. You can do a little march out. We had feet wide for a while there. All right. Let's do a tree pose. Let's do Vrikshasana. If you need some something to balance, come by a wall or come by a piece of furniture. Stand on your right leg. Place your foot with intention. Place your intention, your awareness into your foot. Firm the muscles of your leg. Turn your left knee out. Slide your left heel up onto the right leg anywhere but the knee. Good. And then pull the heel to the thigh and then pull that right hip in. So pull the legs in towards each other. Pull towards the midline. Press your palms together. Come to your Ujjayi breath. Slow, steady, even. Keeping you steady, even in your pose, even though that foot may be a little wobbly on the floor. You can stretch your arms to the sky or keep your hands at your heart. Take 2 more breaths to just pour your intention through your pose, your awareness, making it a sacred moment, a sacred act of yoga. Good. Exhale, release your hands and release your foot. Do a little tushy wiggle. And then again, place left foot with intention. Place intention into the foot. Firm the muscles of the left leg. Turn the right knee out. Slide the right heel up anywhere that's available to you. Anywhere but on the knee. Then pull the left hip in. Press the right knee wide. Join your palms. Ujjayi breath. In and out. Steady and clear. Repetition with intention. The breath can be that. Every breath can be that for us. Inhale the arms up. If you did it on the first side, just mirror that here. Take a full stretch into your pose, into your intention. Yeah, and then slowly exhale and release. Okay, good. Let's come down onto the belly just for a couple of things. So come lay down. I have no ritual way of getting you there. Just come lay onto your belly. And you can just rest your head on your hands for a moment. On the belly, you can feel the breath a little more palpably. You can hear the breath probably a little bit louder than Ujjayi sound with your face close to the floor. So just, again, for the awareness to the breath. All right, then firm your legs. Sweep your hands behind your back. Lace your fingers together. Of course, you can hold a strap if that doesn't work for your shoulders. You can hold a strap behind you. Good. Pull the wrists towards each other. Pull the forearms towards each other. Pull the lower legs in towards each other. Then on an inhale, lift your upper body. Lift your arms, lift your shoulders, lift your head. Stretch your legs longer. And just feel the breath, that repetition of breath. Hear it, feel it. Let it just rock you gently in the pose. Choosing to stay with the intention and stay with the breath and stay with the pose as a way to give meaning and purpose to the practice this morning. Good. Exhale, release. Turn your cheek over to the side. Release your arms. We're going to do 1 more of those. We're just going to switch the clasp of the hands. So place the hands behind the back, just other pinky finger on top. Yeah, nice, you guys. Good. And then stretch your arms straight, stretch your legs straight. This time we'll lift the legs as well. Lift everything up off the floor. Let each breath and the intention that we put in the breath elevate each moment to a moment of grace, to a moment of connection. As you elevate yourself in the pose, elevate the moment to a sacred moment by sending your intention out through your legs, forward through your spine, out to the universe. Good. Slowly exhale and release. All right, from here, roll to your back. Stretch out onto your back.
prepare for Setu Bandhasana, for bridge pose. So feel in your awareness that your feet, your heels are right underneath your knees and your feet are parallel to one another. And if you can't really feel that, then you can always look. You can look and see what's happening there if you're not sure. Bend up your elbows and snuggle the shoulder blades together underneath you so that you feel that little valley between the shoulder blades lift up. You feel that space. And then find the center of the back of your head and just press it straight down into the earth, grounding yourself in your intention, and the intention to make this practice a sacred practice for you, a sacred moment for you in your day. Then inhale, lift your hips up. Keep your lower legs hugging in so the thigh bones are parallel. Sweep your tailbone up and lace your hands together behind your back if you can reach. Of course, if you can't, you just keep your elbows by your side. Keep lifting the bottom tips of the shoulder blades up into the heart. Move your heart towards your chin as you move your knees away in the opposite direction. So you're feeling a big stretch along the whole top of your body. Take 2 or 3 more Ujjayi breaths. Intention with breath. Repetition with intention. That's our practice this morning. Good. On an exhale, slowly lower. Release your hips down. Good. Step your feet wide and you can drop your knees side to side, do a few windshield wipers. Okay, so here's a moment for inversion practice. So options are, you can take a supported bridge, right? You can come back up into bridge. You can put the block, you guys know what to do, but I'll show you. The block underneath the pelvis, right? Pelvis on the block. So here's one inversion option, supported shoulder stand, bridge. If that doesn't work for you, you can find a wall or a piece of furniture, put your legs up. Sivi Barita Harani. Yeah, looks like we're all pretty much there. Okay. Or of course, any other inversion that you want to practice this morning that is available and safe for you to do. Good. And then as we're holding, so inversions are poses that we hold for longer. There's a lot of benefit to doing that on a physical level, but and of course on the spiritual level as well. But just for our purposes for today, again, just stay really, it's easy when we're holding a pose to just sort of check out, it's easy when you get into the pose to just let the mind wander off. And I don't know about you guys, for me, I'm always thinking about like what I'm gonna have for lunch, So just keep coming back to that Ujjayi breath. Every moment can be a sacred moment. Every moment can be a holy space and time for us, simply by just having the intention for it to be so. Staying connected to an intention, staying connected to our highest. So take 2 or 3 more breaths in your whatever inversion you've chosen to do, and just stay connected to that Ujjayi sound. All right, slowly start to find your way down. So if your legs are up, lower your legs back down. Take a moment to just let your feet settle to the earth. And when your feet feel grounded, you can press into your feet and lift up your hips and slide out your block. Good, and then roll over onto your side and bring yourself up to seated. Good, sit. So if the back feels tight or the back of the legs feel tight, just sit up on a blanket or pillow, anything you have to support yourself. And then draw your right knee in, step your right leg across your left for Ardha Matsyendrasana. Good, so you can stay here. This is a modified version of the pose.
But if it works for you to bend the knee and wrap your left heel outside your right hip, you can do that. Either option is fine. Again, you just follow your intention for stay with that. Okay, steady your sit bones, make your sit bones even on the earth. Don't let that right one lift up. It might want to lift up a little bit, don't let it. Take your right hand behind you, cross your left elbow outside your right. You can hug the knee if crossing the elbow doesn't. Good, inhale and sit up tall. And as you exhale, revolve, turn your belly, your ribs, your chest. Patty, if you want to twist the other way, if that's better for you. Keep your leg, just turn your body. Yeah, that's better. See if that feels better for you. 2 or 3 breaths, Ujjayi breaths. Let each breath elevate the moment. Each breath be a ritual of placing your awareness into the moment. Good. Inhale, come to center. You can take a little counter twist if you like. And then unravel the legs and come to the second side. So if you're doing it with the bottom leg straight, it'll be your right leg out straight and the left leg will cross over. If you're taking the full version, you bend the right knee and the right heel comes outside the left hip. So if you do that and your hip is lifting up off the floor, you can elevate your hips a little bit, or you can just keep that bottom leg out straight. Okay, both sit bones grounding evenly. Take your left hand behind you and either cross the elbow or hug the knee and pulse with your breath. Ujjayi sound, helping to anchor you in the moment, in the present, helping to anchor your awareness. So many things we do, we do just by will, we do mindlessly. That's okay. We have to think so much about every single thing we do. Life would be exhausting. But our yoga practice is the moment that we can do that, is the moment where we can infuse more meaning and purpose into our day. So one more breath, taking that opportunity. And then inhale and release, take a little counter twist. Good. Come to center and take the soles of the feet together. Baddha Konasana. So even the way, the sequence of we don't have set sequences, but we do things in order, right? We finish with forward bends because they're calming poses, they're introspective poses. They help us to turn inwards as we move towards Shavasana. So just sink yourself into the pose that you're doing. Stretch the knees wide, press the sit bones down as you lengthen your spine, and then on an exhale, come forward. Elbows can go out in front or in towards the inner thighs, whichever sits better in your body. And we start, just as we did in Uttanasana, the standing forward bends, we come in with that long spine, but then as the body finds its deepest stretch, you can start to release and round, letting the head release down towards the feet and breathing deeply. Inhale, lengthen your spine to bring yourself back up. That's it. And then come down onto your back, taking with you anything you need for Shavasana. If you want to grab a blanket or clothes, of course, now is the moment to do that. I'll grab my switch. So what makes Shavasana different than just sleep or taking a nap, which is also a nice thing to do. But it's that, again, we're keeping that, just that gentle humming level of awareness with us, right? We're not super alert, but we are awake and we are aware in the sort of deepest sense that we can be. That is the practice of Shavasana and the gift of Shavasana. So just let your body release deeply and fully onto your mat. Let the muscles soften. Let the body just become a little heavier on the earth. That's the physical practice of Shavasana, is the absolute just release of all the muscles of just surrendering your weight into the earth. Keep the awareness with the breath. So the breath becomes a little more subtle, it becomes more gentle. Let your mind settle and become a little more still and steady. And then just stay there. Hover the awareness inside. Find that sweet, delicious space right between awake and asleep, where you're aware, but you're fully and deeply relaxed. There's still just this hum, underlying pulse of intention to create sacredness and holiness in your day. And just stay there as you rest. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Allow your body to stretch and move in any way that feels good. Find your way onto your right side. Taking your time. Again, still bringing intentionality to the way that you're moving as you find your way all the way back to seated. So the world is not necessarily in need of people who can do the most perfectly timed and executed sun salutation or recite the most perfectly clear prayer or hyper extend themselves, hover themselves in a state of hyperconscious meditation. But the world is in need of kindness and generosity, compassion, love. And so when we come to our mat and we infuse our practice with intention, when we move with intentionality, when we give meaning and purpose to what we do, we connect ourselves in to the highest. And then hopefully we can then go forth and bring more compassion, generosity, kindness, love to the world. Join your hands together at your heart. May we go out into the world and continue to move with intention, to bring intention to repetition in all that we do throughout our day. Let's end together by chanting an Om. Take in a deep breath. Om. Namaste. Thank you all. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being here on a slow Monday, sleepy Monday. Hope you have a great day.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank
Stay
you,
safe.
Rachel.